Jan, thanks very much for meeting with me again.
Oh, my pleasure.
I was hoping that I could have you listen to a witness testimony.
Darren Hayes was chased by the Mothman as he drove down a road.
And I would love if you could draw out another one for us.
Can try.
All right, here we go.
I saw, this big bird-looking thing go over top of my car.
I'm fascinated with the eyewitness testimony that we have recorded.
I had a huge wingspan on it, but
What do you think the wingspan was?
it was wider than my car, and the body of it was dark.
Getting someone to come and draw those descriptions out, I think will really help us piece this puzzle together.
And he said these two great big red eyes come up over the coal pile, like reflectors, big red reflectors.
So I want to have different sketch artists listen to different accounts and see what similarities show up.
And up on top, we seen two big, what looked like red eyes. It had no long neck like a bird. It just as though it had a head, a large head sitting on its shoulders.
Right.
It was just too big to be a man.
Right.
All right, so I think given what we heard, this might be what we're looking at.
So here's where we're at. Jennifer Owen, she's a forensic photo analyst. She looked at this original Mothman photo, and she says that it is not photoshopped, it is an actual photo. She also introduced me to a bird called a scissored tail flycatcher. If you put it against this sort of backdrop, you blur it a little bit, it looks just like this guy. So based off of everything that we've looked at, I have to think that most of the sightings are probably that of a bird, an owl, something of that nature. Some people maybe saw something in the forest, they don't know what it was, they got spooked, and it was the eye shine from owls they saw, because owls, they're very quiet when they're flapping their wings.
Over 100 people came forward with their accounts. I mean, there's a lot of eyewitness testimony to this creature.
That's the thing about eyewitness testimony, though. Yes, people can come forward. Yes, people may have thought that they saw something. But honestly, it's so unreliable. And the only reason that I give this any credence is that so many people came forward and said that they saw this. But I go back to this. People see something in the woods they can't explain, Mothman. People see something that's fast running, Mothman. People see something in the sky, it's Mothman. That's what I struggle with is, are these cases Mothman by default? I go back to the Silver Bridge collapse. 46 people died. And yes, it's become connected to Mothman lore, but we can't get this mixed up and just say, oh, the Mothman, he comes, he's a harbinger of disaster. It kind of makes this tragedy a pop culture bit, and that's not what it should be. You need to honor the victims, understand that something happened, and learn from that tragedy, which I think that we have. And the evidence was somebody mistaking a bird for something else. And since the Mothman lore was there, everything became Mothman after that.
After getting boots on the ground in Point Pleasant, going to the TNT area, listening to all the witness testimony, I do believe that some of these witnesses did see something unexplainable and something strange that totally changed their perception and totally changed their world.
Since our original investigation, reports of Mothman sightings have continued to surface. MJ, how are you?
Oh, Jen, how are you? Nice to see you.
So I understand that you have information on new sightings of Mothman that are coming from a pretty surprising location.
Yeah, that's right. Mothman has shown up somewhere pretty interesting. He's been spotted in and around Chicago nearly 100 times in the last couple years.
That's an interesting location for sure, given the population density. So what do people think Mothman's up to out there? Going to a Cubbies game or what?
Unfortunately not, I wish. But he's definitely been seen at a lot of landmarks around Chicago. Most famously, he leapt from the top of the Willis Tower. It's the second tallest building in America.
I'm curious to hear what most of the eyewitnesses are reporting.
A Chicago artist did come up with a composite drawing based on a lot of the witness testimony. One particular witness is John Amatrano, and he's agreed to tell his story for the first time on camera.
Great.
Hi, John. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
John's a bouncer at a local bar in Chicago. So, John, why don't you tell us what you saw that night?
I started about 10 p.m. that evening, put my phone on the charger inside after I clocked in for work. Went outside to the front of the bar, waiting for people to walk up, check IDs. I saw something flying up and down like this. I'm like, what is that?
How large was this animal or whatever it was that you saw, and did it have feathers or fur? Could you make any of that out?
To me, it looked like it would be the size of a smaller man with like wings, the way that you would see illustrations of pterodactyls.
Wait, did you say pterodactyl?
Yes, that's what it looked like to me. No feathers, no fur. It looked like it was more so gliding, I guess, at that point. I've never seen anything that flies like that.
How has this changed your life, and what has the reaction been to it?
It's honestly been more of a hassle than anything. Multiple people see it. Let other people know so they don't think they're nuts if they saw it too.
Thank you for sharing your story. It was very intriguing.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You know, I think that John sounded sincere in what he was saying, but I just think there are too many things that it could have been. Hats off to him for coming forward, but at the same time, I don't think that there's any way to ascertain what he saw that night.
I agree. It's really tough with just eyewitness testimony. You know, it could have been a lot of things. However, a lot of witnesses in Chicago have reported some variations in their descriptions of the creature. So I reached out to another eyewitness. His name's Billy Bance. Billy, are you there?
Yeah, I am.
Hi, Billy. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm interested to know more about when and where you had your sighting.
It was on the corner of 290 and Cicero Avenue in a semi because I had a delivery. I had the semi parked about 10:30 in the morning, and I noticed an object coming out of the airspace close to Midway Airport. It basically glided somewhat like a bird, but faster, and then tilted, and then off it went, almost like the Batmobile in the air. This is what it looked like as it was gliding past me and then up in the air. You could see how it tilted, and all you see is one wing and the skeleton on the wing, because that's all I saw. And the object had decided to float right in front of me and tilt, went straight up into the clouds. So it was in front of me for a good amount of time.
Thanks very much for joining us, Billy.
All right, thank you.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm not totally convinced it's a flying man. It's the first time I've ever heard a Mothman case being described as a flying Batmobile. That's definitely a new one.
Drones come in different shapes and sizes, and they look like different things, so I don't know if I'm ready to discount a sighting like that as definitely not a drone.
Jennifer, someone else I'd like you to talk to is researcher Allison Jornlin. She's done tons of investigating in regards to this Mothman Chicago situation. Allison, are you there?
Hey, I'm Jay.
Thank you so much for joining us.
So Allison, what are some of the locations you've investigated, and what have you found?
I have visited all 55 locations of the Mothman sightings in Chicagoland in 2017, compiled by the Phantoms and Monsters blog. My idea was to walk in their footsteps and see what they saw and document that all for YouTube.
He's a dark silhouette, standing about 7 feet tall, she said.
So after all of your investigating, Allison, what do you think? What are people seeing in Chicago?
While this might not be the Mothman, it could be the legendary Thunderbird. There are sightings going back generations across the skies of Illinois and Wisconsin of giant bird creatures. And these sightings repeat in waves over and over again, and cross-culturally as well. We see reports in newspapers and in Native American lore of this area.
Thanks very much for your time, Allison. This was great.
Thank you, MJ, and thank you, Jen.
Jen, it seems to be this mystery that never goes away.
When you take something that has crossed generations, it's crossed cultures, that is very hard for me to dismiss.
And it just goes to show, I think people are really compelled by monster tales.
It's been really fascinating, these new developments in Chicago. Now, I'm not convinced there's a flying man, but whatever people may be seeing, Mothman, a giant bird, or a drone, this is a story that just won't die.